It's Wednesday. It's 8 o'clock. It's the TNG Review Show. Yes. Here we are. We are back with another episode of Star Trek The Next Generation with me, Montalban, Mazin McBob, Tavykins Turner, and Chief Sean. How are you doing, everyone? I hope you are well on this Christmas week.
Yes,
oh, I can hear a bit of feedback.
Yep. Feedback somewhere.
Get a bit of feedback from Tavi there. Tavi's not well this evening. She's not well this evening, unfortunately. So she's just going to be speaking to us. She's not going to be joining us on camera. But
or she's sick as a plane to Lourdes.
Sick as a plane.
Don't think I've ever heard that phrase before.
I love the intro, the Laura ho ho ho.
You can thank Smiler Rainbow for that one.
So good.
Yeah. Smiler helped me come up with the names, and of course Chewie had to be on the nice list because he's a good boy. How are you, Mazin McBob, this week?
Yeah, good. Lots of people are dropping like flies in my household, but I seem to remain immune, so that's good.
Yes. The whole family is kind of, go into the sick house. Yeah, we are. Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. But hopefully, Chief Sean, your week's gone a lot better than ours.
Yeah, just back from Dublin. I managed to miss my train, but I got another one, so we got here in the nick of time. Literally running in the door, putting up a green screen. But sure, look, we got here.
Hey, look at that! And nice. You wouldn't believe how fast Sean was shoveling down his dinner.
I still have a lovely battered sausage here and a few bits to get through. So.
I seem to have come down with the flu, everyone, so if I cough, I do apologise. I will try not to cough in your ears, but I apologise if I do.
Smiler's saying that Sean and I are a smidge quiet.
Oh, okay.
Are we? I could just talk louder.
Yeah.
I will enunciate.
Enunciate.
The line must be drawn here.
No
feather. No feather. Assimilate.
And Tavi, how are you? Not well.
Yeah, I'm horizontal.
Well, unfortunately, there's not enough data for you this week, which is a shame if you're in that reclined way.
Yeah, we're very low on the old vitamin D, given that it's the solstice.
Yeah.
I know, and I can't even muster up enough energy to give you the precise amount of time that he was on screen and the timestamps. I only took notes for the episode. Yeah. That's how unwell I am.
Oh dear. Well, everyone, you got a chance to win tonight, or get some points off Tavykins. Yeah, no, thank you, Smiler, for always tell me if the balance is off. Hopefully that's a bit better now. Let me know. Yes, but tonight we are here to talk about Season 5, Episode Ensign Ro.
I've got my blood wine.
Oh, have you got your...
Just opening another, Advent calendar special. This one's called El Bombero. Doesn't that mean the bomb?
Yeah, oh, crumbs.
Hopefully it's not like the chili sauce bomb.
Yeah.
Hopefully it tastes nice.
I've got a tankard of blood wine or blackcurrant juice.
That's real good. Oh, beautiful.
I've got a hot cup of tea that's quickly going too cold.
I've got
Ruth says Bombero is firefighter. The firefighter.
Oh, that's funny.
That's nice.
Wow.
I'm apt.
I got me my own one of those.
Yeah.
Thank you for the data in the messages, Ruth. I got that. It makes my day so happy. Got me some vitamin D.
Yeah. Good evening to Mickey, to Ruth. Thank you for coming along, Ruth. Stuplum, good evening to you. My wrench Smiler Rainbow. Thank you for coming along, Wookie. I hope you are well. Yep. We will be hopefully feeling right as rain for Christmas Day. That's the main thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the main thing.
I just looked up Bombero because I was curious of the root of it, and apparently it's from it means one who pumps, or the pumper.
Oh.
They take it to mean firefighter, but it's more literally the pumper.
Yeah.
So definitely no double entendres there.
No, absolutely
Yeah,
none.
I'm like, that was provocative. Pump it real good. Dun, dun, dun,
Dun,
dun.
dun, dun.
Smiler says, have you sent her the script for tonight?
I haven't. No,
No, he hasn't.
I haven't.
Good catch there, Smiler.
Hang on a minute. Talk amongst yourselves.
Oh,
Yeah.
on the hop.
Yeah.
Production. What have we got to say about that? Yes, interesting episode this week called Ensign Ro. Obviously, it's her first appearance, which is super exciting. Great character. I think she's good anyway. And apparently this was like, they really wanted to bring in a character who was going to cause some friction. You know, shake things up a little bit.
Yeah, about time, really. They needed this.
Yeah, they thought everybody was just too nice and got along a bit too well.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a fan of Miss Sass Boots in the beginning.
Haha.
The premiere
Well, you know,
date-
she is probably quite Marmite, right? She is supposed to be frictiony, so not everybody's going to like her.
Oh, I'm a fan.
I was just going to say the premiere date was the 7th of October 91, which was my 6th birthday.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah.
cute.
And first UK air date 4th of January 95. So
Yeah.
27 years since it was, or nearly 28 years since it was on UK television.
Yeah.
You weren't actually like watching it back then, were you? You didn't like
Um,
point at the screen and go, "Whoa, Larwen!"
My brother watched it ahead of me, so I remember watching it from a very young age because my brother watched it. But I you know, would have been one of my earliest memories is watching Star Trek.
Ah, that's cute.
Okay. All right. So it is Ensign Ro. It's episode 3 of season 5, production number 40275-203. As Sean just said, it first aired in the US on the 7th of October, 1991, when I was 16. It's a 102nd episode to be both produced and released. The teleplay was by Michael Piller. It's his 8th of 14. We've obviously talked about Mr. Piller a number of times before. Sadly, he died around 2005 of cancer. Shame. Story by Rick Berman and Michael Piller. Of course, Rick Berman, the producer of TNG and a lot of other Star Treks, his second of 5 writing credits, and directed by the wonderful Les Landau. It's 26th of 34. Yes. No teaser. I have noticed that all those old trailers, sorry, no trailer. I've noticed all the old trailers have started appearing on Paramount's own StarTrek.com.
Ah,
And,
Probably geolocked to the
Yeah.
USA.
and I'm not going to stream that website because CBS and Paramount really don't like that sort of thing. So I'm just going to stay away from that. We're just not going to have them now. Unfortunate,
be
but
the biggest of all no-nos.
yeah.
I
No.
love how StarTrek.com put out on Twitter, "Watch now, our brand new trailer," and it's always like geolocked to America. It's like, what are you doing to me here?
Yeah.
I'd have to go searching around Twitter for someone who's copied it and repasted it. The show was the first time.
Yeah. Right. Let me get the first picture. Stop doing that, Windows. All right.
And obviously, like we were saying about Ensign Ro, but like Michelle Forbes, she was in a prior episode. You don't have any questions on this, do you?
No, I didn't know that. Oh, yes,
Oh, yeah,
yes, I
she-
do. Yes, I do.
Yeah,
We
you
saw her.
did.
Yes, I remember.
We only did it a
Yeah,
couple.
she
It
was.
was, it was a few
the
episodes
daughter.
ago.
Yeah, she was the daughter of that dude.
Yeah, who
Yeah, the
she
euthanasia
played
episode.
he didn't want to die.
Dara,
Yes.
Yeah, in Half a Life. That was it.
Guess they
and,
liked
the
her.
producers were so impressed with her, they thought, let's bring her back.
Yeah, yeah. I sent it across, Smiler. I sent it across to your Gmail email address. You should have it. You should have it. What was I doing? somebody?
Bring the pictures up.
Oh yeah, pictures.
He's going to need some prompting tonight, folks.
It's gonna be a struggle. Right. What are you doing, Tavi?
Do you hear me clicking?
Yeah, what's that?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm trying, before you start answering questions, I forgot to write in my notes something. So I'm trying to see if I can find that before you start asking questions and I have to close out.
Oh, right. I see. Okay.
So I was like, oh man, I forgot to check.
Okay. Here we go. The teaser. We open up with this episode. The run-of-the-mill kind of day on the Enterprise. Picard's getting his yearly haircut and head buff from the barbershop. Mr. Mott is dispensing his own advice on how Picard should deal with Romulans in the future, and he tells him Riker agrees with his assessments. Picard takes it mostly with grace, but with a soupçon of irritation. Picard then gets called to the bridge by Riker, as they have received a distress call from a colony. But you guessed it, question number 1. What colony was the distress call from? Was it A, Rena 4, B, Relva 7, C, Solarian 4, or D, Talos 3? Have you got it yet, Smiler? Shall I try sending it again? I could try sending it. Maybe
Wookie wants to know, is eating permitted on the engineering bridge, Sean?
I was just about to respond to him. As long as you don't eat corn, that's the main thing, because there can be all sorts of confusion if you're around corn, confusing people as to what rank you are and
Oh, right, yes.
how you deal with it.
I've tried
Wasn't
sending
quite
it
following
again.
that for a second.
Here we go.
Mazda, I'm answering in the
I can,
StreamYard chat, so that's where mine is right tonight.
I can just make
Oh.
myself captain and then do what I like. So
You're not answering in the chat.
Yeah, because Monty doesn't like my ticking.
Oh, I see. I see. Oh, that reminds me. I better bring the score sheet up. Hadn't
Oh
I?
yeah, you better get.
Yeah, you need to clean your.
Oh. Need to clean my what?
I was gonna say you need to clean your chronometer to Tavi, but anyway.
So that was your first question. Picard questions Riker about his discussions with Mott, but Riker tells Picard they're more like lectures by Mr. Mott than a discussion. But hey, he's the best barber in Starfleet. So I guess that explains all the bouffanty hairstyles this season that we've seen on Data and Riker, because they've got a new barber. Yeah. So that's
it was very early '90s. Not sitcom. What's the one? Soap.
Yeah.
The hair.
Yeah.
Wookie says he's never personally trusted board hairdressers because they must be really bad at maintaining their own.
Yeah.
Love it.
It just escapes. You just can't keep hold of it. It's yeah. Picard. Oh no, I've done that. Oh, another picture. Is that another picture? I think it is. I don't know what I'm doing tonight. Another picture.
Yep.
They receive an audio-only transmission from a Bajoran man claiming to be responsible for destroying the colony and threatening more violence if their homeland is kept from them. And that was the end of the teaser.
Your reds are just looking really vibrant there. Just like the uniforms. Looking really sharp. Really
Oh
sharp.
crap! I was going to wear a red uniform this week. I forgot.
Oh yeah,
entirely.
you forgot you're going to be command this week, weren't you?
Oopsie. Yeah, never mind.
I like the blue. I like the blue. Yeah, so that was the end of the teaser.
Variety.
Yeah, Tony?
The last note that I was looking up in Memory Alpha before you started the question, I was like, oh my god, I forgot what race Mr. Mott was. Let me find that out before he starts.
Yeah, I didn't
Like
answer it. That's not...
Well,
But-
a little bit of continuity on the old trivia front, but this is the first appearance of Mott, right?
Yes.
As is. There is some suggestion that he might have initially been intended to have been the same person as the other Bolian hairdresser, but anyway, That was Vassal, which was obviously a different actor in Data's day. And we'll find out in due time. But on Memory Alpha, it says that his next appearance is in Schisms. But on IMDb, the credit shows his next appearance as being in Time's Arrow. So I guess when we get to the end of this series, we'll see which source is correct.
We shall see.
Oh. Oh.
On to
Oh my goodness.
Act 1.
Yes.
You're right there, Tav.
I was looking at. I have my television up, so I'm watching the live chat, and I'm realizing that I'm getting old and I need glasses.
We're all there. We're all there. Yeah.
You're saying that, Monty Bam. Where's your glasses then? You don't have glasses.
Funnily enough, I used to have glasses and then I got LASIK, but apparently because
I don't like wearing them.
because I was nearsighted.
I didn't even know you had glasses.
Yeah.
You got LASIK.
Go
That
on,
went well
Sean.
then.
Oh yeah, it was a long time ago now. But the because it was if you were previously nearsighted and you correct it, it's very unlikely you'll need reading glasses or you won't need them for a lot longer, because your eyesight was so far gone one way that it won't tend to go the other way or something to that effect. So
Oh right.
thankfully, I'll be safe for another few years.
It's another good shot of the D coming in towards our space station. which, you
Yeah,
know,
and the magic door.
Yeah, the magic door.
It's exactly as wide as the Enterprise A and the Enterprise G,
Yeah.
depending on the shot.
Yeah.
And is there a question about this station at all?
Also, imagine in Star Trek 3 when they nicked the Enterprise, both the Enterprise A, that was the same size as that door, and the Excelsior, which was massive compared to it, all left the same door. Yeah.
And and you can that station is so big you can go to quarter impulse, and still have like a good 30 seconds before you hit the door.
Yeah, that's right. Right, the Enterprise has arrived.
Any questions about this station?
No.
Where this footage was reused from?
No.
From Starbase 74 from episode 11001001.
Yeah,
Oh, the binary.
it's been reused several times actually.
It has, yeah.
I think the last time the planet was purple, and before that it was blue, and now it's kind of green.
It's a good station.
And it was originally, of course, from Star Trek 3.
I don't know if you guys know Flight of the Conchords, the band from New Zealand, but Mazza just reminded me of a song that they did. It's called "The Humans Are Dead," and they're pretending to be robots, and there's this breakdown, of course, because there's supposed to be like a cool solo. And the robot comes in and he's going 1001 and then he's just spouting off his number. But that's his robot freestyle rap for the song. And the way she did it was so smooth. I'm like, oh, she sounds like that song. So if you like silly songs like that, Flight of the Conchords.
Flight of the Conchords. It also reminded me of Crichton in one episode where he was like, us mechanoids have a saying in times like this. It goes 11001001010110, or in other words, stop jabbering around when you're in mortal danger.
My favorite Crichton gag was the one where Rimmer would always misquote the regulations, and they go, "You're forgetting about regulation 467. You should always wear swimming trunks in the sauna. It's a pertinent regulation, sir, but I'm not sure how it applies to this situation."
Yeah. He's just off by one digit.
Or whatever it is.
Yeah. Oh, 472 then. You know what I mean.
Yeah. Right. Yes. So they've arrived at the station with survivors from Solarian 4, and Picard is meeting with Admiral Kellenny in an observation lounge. Kellenny has a cold, ironically enough, and he's picked up from the Cardassian liaison, so Picard gets him a ginger tea. I just had a lem sip, which, is my favourite thing to have if I'm not feeling very well. There he is, Mr. Kenley, Admiral Kenley, and he's an admiral, so he's a bad guy.
It was so when I saw this, it was so cliche. I never realized until people started saying all the admirals in Star Trek were bad, or badmirals.
He really
Badmals.
he does look really evil with the slick back hair, doesn't he? It's just
Yeah.
not in a Riker or Data way. He looks kind of sharky or something. I don't know.
He was in a film I liked as a child called Silent Running, which is an old cult sci-fi film about like all the life from planet Earth is contained within some ships that have got these biomes and get sent out into space. And something happens where Earth gets its life back, so they get signaled that they can ditch their biomes into the sun and not worry about it. But when this guy gets this message, he decides he's fallen in love with these biomes and these forests and these things. So he murders the rest of the crew. And
Sounds a bit like Wally.
lives with these robots, Huey, Dewey, and Louie on the ship. Anyway, yes. So he was, I think, the second person actor in that. Yeah. So Kennedy tells Picard about a militant cell that sprang up from the Bajoran people. He's sympathetic with their plight as they have been ousted from their home world and now roam the galaxy homeless. But this kind of terrorism cannot be justified. Kennedy wants Picard to catch the ringleader any way he can. But question 2, what is the name of the Bajoran freedom fighter that Kennedy wants captured? Is it A. Cermak, B. Orta, C. Linares, or D. Shakar?
We didn't do
When the walls fell.
answers to the first one, did we?
Oh, God, no. We'll do it at the end of this act. We'll do both
All right
answers.
then.
Yeah.
All the answers,
do
all
all
at
the-
once.
We'll do all the answers just to, yeah. Oh, Tavikin's just dropped out. Her phone just ran out of battery and died. Yes.
Wookie was saying, I love Silent Running. It was filmed on a decommissioned US battleship.
An aircraft carrier, a decommissioned aircraft carrier. Yeah, it was.
Oh.
Yeah. It's a really good film. It's not a classic like 2001, A Space Odyssey that I've literally seen like 100 times. But let's just head to Abby back. But it is, for its time, a very thought-provoking, decent film. And as a kid at the time, I liked the little robots.
Ah.
They give you kind of like C-3PO and R2-D2 vibes,
Yeah.
They were actually amputee actors, actors that have didn't have any legs.
Wow.
That they put in these little robot costumes and walked on their arms. Okay. Okay. I've forgotten what I'm doing. Oh yes, Kennedy promises amnesty and a proper investigation of their situation on the quiet, of course, but after generations of abuse at the hands of the Cardassians, Picard doesn't think that will do any good. There are people that are all willing to be martyred. Directed by... It's directed by a guy that specialised in special effects. I can't remember his name, but he was a special effects guy, and this is like his main film that he directed. Yeah, can't remember. Picture. That's what I'm doing. Sorry, guys. Oh no, that's not right.
It's okay. You're doing fine.
That didn't go that.
You can just always put in a supplemental transition photo of Data or Lore.
Yeah, I do that one time later on just for you. Douglas
Thank
Trumbull.
you.
Yes, he was a special effects guy, which is why, for its time, the special effects, whilst a low-budget film, the special effects were really good. Meanwhile, Riker has learnt of the transfer of a new member of staff, an Ensign Ro Laren. Apparently, she has a reputation, and Picard isn't happy about it. The Admiral, though, forces his hand. That is very difficult for him to get her out of prison for this mission. Ro Beam's on board, and Riker immediately addresses the fact that she's wearing a non-Starfleet standard Bajoran earring and gets her to remove it. And that's the end of Act 1.
The whole officer out of prison just reminded me of Discovery way too much. I'm like, oh, this sounds familiar.
Yeah, that was definitely echoed there.
Or Tom Paris.
But look at
Yeah.
her there, look. Doesn't she look
Oh,
badass?
yeah.
She's
She
badass.
does. I like that pop in the hip, that
Yeah.
sass.
She's
Miss
sassy.
Sass Boots Laren.
And
yeah.
obviously, this is the first appearance of the Bajorans. They
Or the Bajora.
the
as they-
Bajora,
they
which
call
is a
them in
term which
episodes,
is then not used later on in DS9. So there's some continuity issues there, but it is often the way when they first introduce somebody. And also, she's got these sort of ridges that go along the forehead, which they kind of drop them later just for the nose ridges. So the prosthetic does change a little bit over time.
Yeah, I happened to read up on that before. Westmore, they just kept, when you crinkled your face or whatever, they kept peeling off. So
you could see it in one of them where they get a bit lopsided where she's frowning, and it
and they had to keep having someone to glue them back on over and over again. So it was just easier just to remove the
fiddly bits.
The V.
Yeah, makes sense.
Right, should we go back to the answers to the 2 questions then?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ruth, did you answer the second question?
If you're there, Ruth, quickly get your answer in.
Yeah.
Get your answer in.
29's in the background. The kettle's on, and I'm making myself another tea. I'm going with lemon, ginger, manuka, honey. So this might not be Picard's Auntie Adele's mix, but it's close.
Pretty close.
Yeah.
Episodic drink.
Right, so question 1, what was the colony's name that the distress call came from? Was it Rena 4, Relva 7, or Solarian 4, or Talos 3? It was C, Solarian 4.
Most people got that right.
Oh, well done, everyone. Well done. And question 2, what was the name of the Bajoran freedom fighter that Kennelly once captured? Was it A, Cermak, B, Orta, C, Linares, or D, Shakar? It was, I'm covered in bees. It was B,
Literally
Orta.
covered in bees. Yes,
covered in bees.
Everybody
Shakar when the walls fell.
Shakar when the walls fell. Well, actually, they're all Bajoran freedom fighter cell leaders from Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, and the Shakar actor also famously played the Ghost Candle, but.
Yeah. Yes. So there we go.
Does anyone remember? Sorry.
Go on, Toby.
Completely random question. I can't remember if it's just like when you have a viral infection, you're not supposed to eat a lot of sugar or whatever. But right now, I'm craving carbohydrates and sugar. So I just is it a trick from the virus? So,
I've never heard that. I mean, Lemsips and stuff are all pumped full of sugar.
Sugar, caffeine, paracetamol.
Yeah, basically.
Taking all of that then.
I've been living off heroes this afternoon. So,
yeah, you want to be feeding your body. You want it to have all the power in it can get.
Yeah. Okay. Just feed it full of stuff. I'm good at doing that, as you can tell. Yeah. Would Starfleet Academy deny her zero culture, heritage, and beliefs? I don't think so, but I guess when it comes to serving on board a ship, if you got wearing dangly things that could get trapped in machinery and things, I guess they have to have a standard rule. Elsewhere, do they? Worf wears a big sash. That's not
there's
standard.
A few comments about the fact that why would they stop her when Worf has his thing, but at the same time, they know that she is an ensign who's just come out of a correctional facility, and I think there's an element of just wanting to make sure that she knows that she's got a place. They're putting her in it,
Yeah.
Yeah. When you've got a wild one, you've got to lay down the boundaries, haven't you? You've got to set up the boundaries to.
I would imagine it's at the discretion of the captain. Things like that, deviations. I know in the Navy, you're allowed to have a beard, but you have to ask permission, and has to be
Yeah.
approved and all that stuff. It's not, you can't just grow one if you want one. Because I think it doesn't
Yeah,
look
I
right. They
think
just tell you to take it off. Sorry, go on, Tavi.
no, I was saying that's what I thought happened here. She didn't put in a request for a deviation from the uniform, so it's like, bitch, if you don't get in line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Worf has obviously earned his deviation, and so does she by the end of the episode, to be fair.
Yeah,
So,
she
yeah.
does. Oh, sorry.
She could have sent the request in instead of showing up out of line.
I don't know if you
Yeah.
just got out of prison if you'd be sending in requests for things, but she probably just should have not worn it and been done with it.
Yeah.
So, Act 2. Yes, onwards and upwards. In Picard's ready room, Riker expresses his concerns. I just want to mention the new chair that we saw Picard sitting in Redemption Part 2 at the beginning of this series has now pretty much changed back to his old chair.
Oh.
I don't know if you remember me saying, I noticed like he had this big white chair with a high headrest that was higher than him. And I was like, I couldn't find anybody. Nobody's mentioned it anywhere, you know. And lo and behold, by this
Maybe he
episode, it's gone. It's gone back.
I can only
Maybe
imagine
he
it.
didn't like the chair.
I can only imagine it was possibly being borrowed for Star Trek 6 and it was used in another scene and it took a while to come back.
It has the same style as these chairs. These chairs have stayed, which have that same styling, but this one's gone back to how it was.
But when you want to frame a shot like this, and bear in mind, obviously the ready room isn't a big set, and they have to get 3 people in the shot. They have to get him at the back of his head. So if you have a big headrest there, it's horrible cinematography. So they have to, like, if you ever know, if you never noticed this before, you will now. Any film where people are in a car talking, the headrests are always removed. Because they just. Yeah, you will the next time you watch one, because they never have headrests, because they need to be able to see the actors and the headrests would obscure it, so they actually just pluck them out.
Oh, also, I don't know if you guys noticed this at the end of the scene. I don't know if the photo is going to be there or if anyone's going to bring it up, but I would really like to know the information. Wait, is there a question about the structure of the ship coming up for this scene, Monty?
No.
I don't want to ruin anything.
No, it's not.
All right. Okay, now when she walks out of the ready room, she exits out into a turbo lift, and I'm like, where the heck did that thing come from? And it was just in the corner. So if you guys remember that out of the episode, and is there another door to his ready room?
No, there's a turbo lift to the left. If you walk out this door and turn directly left, there's a turbo lift there.
I thought when you walk out that door, you're on the bridge, and the turbo lift is to the right.
Yeah, you're in an alcove with the turbo lift to the left.
Okay.
There's an in-universe explanation, which there is a turbolift there, but for cinematographical reasons, they always use the one at the back because they can walk onto the bridge and it's a better shot than trying to shoot down into the corner. So it's very, very rarely used. But the other reason is that in order to get off that set, they had to walk through the view screen. And you do see it as a continuity error in a number of episodes, where people just immediately just turn left and walk towards the view screen when they should be turning right towards the bridge. You see Riker doing it in a few episodes. It shouldn't be there. They should walk out and wait for the door to close and turn right like they're going somewhere, but they immediately go, scene over, and they turn left to craft foods.
Yeah. So we're in the ready room, and Riker is expressing his concerns about Ro serving on the Enterprise, but Picard assures him it's very much temporary. When Ro arrives, Picard unwisely refers to her as Ensign Laren, which Ro corrects him as Bajorans have their names the other way around. Most now don't bother correcting people because they want to assimilate into the Federation culture, but she takes... Oh, but she does not. She wants to stand apart. She takes a chair at his desk without being offered one. It's the way she is.
So glad
Picard
came in with her woke information.
Picard outlines that he has reservations about her being a part of the mission, but Ro is like, I don't want to be here either. But it was this or prison. Which is, annoys Riker. Riker gets quite angry. And his bouncy hair almost wobbles. As people
Do
train.
you know when you have that fan graph machine, you know, like the static field thing, and you put your hands on it?
Yeah.
It looks like his hair is standing on end.
Is his
He's
hair
got some
kind of
Michael
quivers?
McIntyre vibes in that one. If he just shakes his head a little bit, it'll be part of the show.
Yes, it does. Yeah. Oh dear, that's a good one. Picard. He's annoyed because people train for years for the opportunity to serve on the flagship, the USS Enterprise. Picard goes to give her the "let's make the best of this" speech, but Laren cuts him off as she knows what's expected of her, and just let's just get it over with. And with that, she gets up and leaves without being dismissed. And she walks out the door.
I love how he handled that, because if like he wasn't like a really good leader, he would have tried to like call her back and make her stand because she wasn't dismissed. But he let her sashay out and let her feel that way when you know
I love the look
he
on his
kept
face
his
afterwards.
kept his power. You know,
He looked kind of quite amused by the whole situation. Like he had this little amused look on his face afterwards. Like he wasn't angry. He was just like, "Oh, she's like that, is she?"
Yeah.
she's got
Spicy
sad
one you
boots
are.
on.
Careful with the copying and pasting the next question, Smiler, because the answer is in the middle of the. Hopefully you'll see, like, it's not multiple choice, this one, really. But it's a two-part question. It's question 3. Which ear does Ro wear her Bajoran earring? The right or left? And also, for double points, which ear does Major Kira wear her earring? Right or left? So, how much?
I think there was a thing in the earlier seasons of Deep Space Nine where women wore it one side and men wore it the other. And later on, they changed it so that they all wore it the same side. That was a thing. They initially had this idea that they were going to have, one and the other, but they changed it.
Yeah. So I'm looking for a left or left-right or right-left or right-right.
And that would have made more sense. Or you could have said, if you're wearing, because like an engagement ring, if you wore it on the right, it meant you're married, or you wore it on the left, it meant you're still under your father's name or what have you, or you changed your earring when you got married. They could have done a couple of things with it. They never did. They kind of started hinting at it, and then they just abandoned the whole idea.
Okay. Sorry. The Enterprise is approaching the Valo system on the outskirts of Cardassian territory. Picard holds a staff meeting in the observation lounge to discuss how to get in contact with the Bajoran people. And look who it is.
Nice
Vitamin D right there.
Yeah,
nice D pick, yeah.
There he is. There he is. And he does something. He suggests a man known as Jas Holzer. It might be the best choice as someone to contact. And he can be found on Valo 3. Dr. Crusher's familiar with him. He's a nice man, and she met him in a medical symposium. And he's also a fellow dancer, like herself. However, Ro points out that Jas holds no real sway over the Bajoran people, and after telling the crew that they're wasting their time, and this will end all in bloodshed, she tells him she knows the guys for them, and he's named Kiva Falor. He lives on Valo 2. Picard decides to go with Ro's suggestion instead.
Sounds a lot like that guy that kidnapped Data. Creep.
What was he
Pivo
called?
Foss or something.
Yes, that's it. Yeah.
Something like that.
We're out of the Batman caves again.
Oh yeah. I think it's actually the same. They literally stood in the same spot.
I'm convinced they did the location shoot at the same time just to save and bring the crews out twice. I think it was just a money saving thing.
They obviously built a lot more set for this one, though.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it saved a lot of money if they already had the production crew out there just to film all the scenes at once, I would imagine.
Yeah.
I really like before they got to this scene here when Ro Laren tells them the guy they need to talk to, the key Falor guy. Wait, is that like a question?
No.
Okay. Sorry, And at the end, she's like, yeah, and he's not going to ask you to dance. And I was like, ooh, burn, because it
Burn.
reminded me a lot of Lower Decks, how they began, and they sort of showed how the senior crew on the bridge is always the one saving the day. They're always the one taking the credit, and it's just like it was very, very. They're very detached from the reality of what the rest of their crew has to experience. So when she said that, I'm like, oh, I got some Mariner in that sass right there. So I was like, what?
Yeah.
And you say you don't like her. It sounds like you love her.
She still pissed me off, though.
Data has some lanky ass arms. Look at those things.
He's
make
an
some
Only down
android.
to his knees.
They're so long. Yeah, they look
Yeah.
like they're down his knees.
He'd make some boxer. Look at those things. Fantastic.
Yeah.
In Captain Picard's log, we learn the Bajoran people were architects and philosophers long before the humans learnt to walk upright. The Enterprise arrives at Valo 3 and... Was it Valo 2? Valo 2, and the away team of Picard, Rowan, Data and Worf beam down to the surface.
I love how their shoes are already very muddy. It's like they prepared them to be muddy, so they muddied them up before they went down to the planet.
It's not the first scene.
Oh, isn't it? Sorry, I thought that was the beam inside.
It's not the first scene they shot. You know, they don't always film things in
fair
order, do
point.
they?
That's true. You'd think they'd say, no, they'd be buffed up as soon as they flew down.
Yeah.
No. Bit of a continuity error.
They meet with Mr.
Good
Keeve.
spot.
It's a very good spot. Yeah. They meet with Mr. Keeve and he's sympathetic, but as the Federation have acted as innocent bystanders all these years, he will not help them now. Picard tries to explain that they now have a treaty with Cardassia, so they're in a position to help with the aid of diplomacy. If they can bring an end to these terrorist attacks, Picard orders Worf and Data to replicate blankets and provide supplies, and Keeve says that he will contact them if he hears anything.
I always thought it was weird when she went down there. Oh, sorry. She goes down there and she gives somebody her jacket, and I'm like, that's a uniform issue. You can't just be giving people them jackets. But I thought it was cool. That was like suddenly her comm badge and everything was where it needed to be. And I was like, did you know you were about to get rid of that?
She wears 2 comm badges. She got the main one and a backup one underneath.
And like her top didn't have a zip, did it? I mean, it was like just a...
Yeah, I don't...
No,
Somehow
it was
unzipped it.
it was an editing trick to make it work for the wherever I read or saw that before. But yeah, they did a trick where they just cut at the right moment to make it kind of come off the right way. But yeah, it didn't come off as
Yeah,
as a
but you
piece
could tell,
that.
like, from what she was wearing, there was no...
Oh, yeah,
seam
it was
around.
solid. They cut away, then
Yeah.
it zipped down and took it off. Yeah, just an editing trick.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention at the beginning, but obviously this is all about, you know, issues with the Cardassians. And originally, apparently, they were going to make it the Romulans, but they sort of felt like they'd overdone the Romulans, and then they remembered back to the wounded and thought, oh, let's make this about the Cardassians. And of course, you know, that just set up a major story arc and like the whole of Deep Space Nine, basically. But yeah, what a decision to make.
And being that this was written by, you know, Michael Piller, Brandon Braga, you know, Rick Berman, you know, it was the people all there sowing the seeds.
And as part of this little walkthrough here, there are some animals, and they used Birds and Animals Unlimited on this episode because there are apparently 12 guinea fowls, like amongst the background stuff. And they used the same ones from the episode In Theory. And I was trying to think, why would it be In Theory? Was it just for the cat? I'm not sure.
I don't know, maybe.
But they've clearly got their go-to animal handlers.
Yeah. So, yeah, Ro tells Picard that she could never live this way. Lost and defeated, and that is why she ran away. And that was the end of the... That was the end of that act.
It was nice that you mentioned guinea fowl. It's one of the birds I had considered getting for the farm because they are masters at hunting down and specifically eating ticks. So if you have a tick problem on your farm, you get guinea fowl and they will clear you out of ticks.
Nice.
Very cool. Right, answers to question 3. Which ear does Ro wear her Bajoran earring? It was her left ear. And for the bonus points, which ear does Major Kira wear her earring? It was her right. So we're looking for lefts
So this
and
question
rights.
is normally 60 points. How many bonus points are we giving?
Oh, give a 30.
Okay. And I think everybody got it right. Yeah.
What's Wookiee's
Yay.
question there? How many ears do Bajorans have? There could be all sorts of things going on down in Starfleet. Oh, in the onesie. That's true.
Well, I've never seen one fully naked, but I believe they also have 2, like most bipedal species in the Star Trek universe.
They don't have a final frontier.
Does Ro's shadow look a bit like Darth Vader's helmet in that shot, or it's just me?
Yeah. I do like that 90s bobbed hairstyle, though.
Yeah. That was a good spot
hair.
there.
The helmet hair. It reminds me of Terry Hatcher from Superman, The Amazing Adventures of Superman.
Yeah, before she had it chopped. That was
Yeah,
a bad
before,
move.
yeah, that ruined me. That did.
Well, she did have a brief role in TNG, didn't she? But she had like frizzy 80s hair, I think.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
yeah. She was like an ensign in the transporter room.
Yes, that's
in, like,
right.
The first
Yeah,
episode or something.
yeah, really
Yeah.
early on. Yeah. She
I
did.
remember some of them having like a normally frizzy hair.
Have we got any people in the lead in the quiz, or is everybody just doing super duper well?
Everybody's doing well, except for unfortunately Sean, who got the first question wrong.
Oh, Sean.
Oh.
So one of the things that's been picked up on, apparently there have been whole articles written about it, but is the conflict or lack of consistency over how long the Cardassian occupation of Bajor lasted.
Right.
I think there have been references to say it was 25 to 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, and I think Major Kira and Gold Cat at some point say 60 years. So yeah, who knows?
It felt like 60 years.
There could be slightly different definitions, so they could have been kind of subjugated but not completely ruled. You know, they could have kind of twisted the knife and at some point taken over completely. So people might say it's the first time, like the Cardassians could have come as friends and pretended to trade with them, but really they were subjugating them, you know, and had 10 years of that, and people view it different ways. That's the only way to make it make sense for me.
Yeah.
And then you got to ask them, okay, when they're talking about years, which star system are they referring
Well, that's
to?
what I was thinking. Maybe they would like Cardassian years and Federation years and Bajoran years.
That's a fair point.
That's true.
I don't know.
We know the Bajorans have a 26-hour day, so there could be reasons why just the way it converts, round up or round down or something.
Yeah.
Good point.
I don't think. I
Let me
don't,
clear my throat. Hold on.
Yeah,
for a
you
second.
go clear your throat.
I don't think Tavikins has got it in her today, but we'll see.
Hold on, I got my tea. Hold on. Panko!
Yeah, it's still there. It's still there. Yeah, good effort.
And dies.
Yeah. Okay, so onwards to Act 3 then. Act 3. Keith Fowler comes through with his promise of help and directs the Enterprise to the third moon of Valo 1, where they meet with Alta, the terrorist leader. Ro is in 10 forward, drinking alone when Troy and Beverly arrive to ask if she minds if they join her, and she bluntly tells them to fuck off. Well, she doesn't actually say that, but you know, in so many words.
Go fly a
That's
kite.
what I heard. That's what I heard.
Yeah, she was like, "Yes, I do," and that was that. Guinan, though, seeing this, does the same thing and doesn't take any notice of Ro's rejection and takes a seat anyway. Guinan surmises that no one really comes to a bar to be alone. And she is someone who listens. They talk about how everyone's talking about Ro, and she confirms the rumours are all true. Guinan says truth is in the eye of the beholder, which I thought was a good line. Because, of course, they say, I'm sure that you mean beauty, but, you know, Guinan's like, it works for all sorts of things. We learn that...
Beauty is truth, truth is beauty.
Yeah. We learn that on her last assignment, Ro didn't follow orders and 8 members of her way team died. She subsequently was court-martialed and didn't defend herself in court. But question 4, what starship did she serve on during this disastrous mission? Was it A, the USS Iron Duke, B, the USS Victory, C, the USS Tripoli, or D, the USS Wellington? A, B, C, or D?
I gotta say, like, you know, for everybody in that bar or whatever, and just be on a starship, you got some balls to be shit talking behind somebody's back while they're at the bar in the recreation center. Like, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
And that was Geordie's token appearance for this episode, right?
Yeah, to talk shit
Yeah.
about someone and then disappear again. Classic
Nah,
Geordie.
I would have stopped myself from starting a fight. 10-4. I'd be like, oh, you got something to say? You got something to say? Bring it on over here.
And you have the token Deanna appearances because Guinan's robbed all her lines.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Deanna was
gonna say?
actually.
Mind if I join you?
She goes on an away mission in this. I mean, it's like
She
she
does.
got a bit more action than she usually does.
Yeah.
And they actually used her for a little bit of the stuff that she's supposed to say. Yeah, that's right, Panko, the big D. Sorry.
The big D. Yeah. Then we see the Bandai game here. One of the best pictures we see of it this season.
Again, mentioned before, but if you ever see that in a car boot sale or something, buy it. They're worth $300 or $400 on eBay.
I found one, didn't I? I found one on eBay.
Yeah.
They
it
have
was-
several on eBay.
Yeah.
I thought about, getting one as a Christmas present. Then I was like, no, that's just too much.
That's
money.
just too much, isn't it? It's just too much.
At a
Too
certain point,
much.
someone will start doing replicas or recreations of them, but at
Yeah.
the moment, I think you still need the original.
Yeah.
It's a match game, right? That's what it says on it.
Yeah, it
on the
is. It's like-
description.
it's like-
a match game, a
yeah.
Japanese match game.
That's
How
correct.
it works, but
Yep. Guinan comes to the conclusion that she enjoys torturing herself, setting herself apart from others. She thinks this is going to be the start of a beautiful friendship and leaves Ro pondering what the role of a bartender really is. She then gets called because she's got a communication waiting. It turns out that the communication is from the Admiral, who wants an update report, and Ro tells him it's all going to plan. So, some sort of secret agenda going on here between Ro and the Admiral. Later...
Hey, I wanted to go. Sorry.
sorry.
Finish that.
No, sorry.
Finish that thought. It's a different thought. Different. It's like go throwback.
Go back. Go back. There you go. I'm back.
Oh no, it's actually for the Diana when Diana and Crusher came by. So finish this area and
Okay, well, later in the allotted time, the away team meet at the transporter room to beam down and find that Ro has beamed down 6 hours ago. They head down to find out what's going on. Do you want me to continue?
Yeah. Oh, I was thinking it was actually when we were talking about like Guinan stealing Diana's line, I think in this scene it was actually done really well because if you think about the situation, this is an unwanted ensign on board and Diana's on her break time. And so for someone who's is nasty or at least has the history that she does, can you imagine Diana doesn't really want anything to do with her? So I think it was great that she doesn't want to talk to us. Okay, well, I'll just fuck off. I'm off.
I'm off.
Ain't nobody got time for your shit anyway. Be like, I don't like your ass anyway. Don't nobody like your ass. So those lines for this episode happily go to Guinan.
Yeah. And yeah. So next picture. That's it. They find themselves in the TNG caves. And Data picks up evidence of movement. They split up and search, but quickly get apprehended by the terrorists. There they are. Caught in the caves.
Thank you for all the Data pictures, because I know he doesn't often, but he's in there, and I just want you to know I appreciate it, and it makes me feel better.
Yeah.
Karen, now caught in the caves, now has to start repeating there are 4 lights for the rest of the episode.
Oh, yeah.
More or less the exact same spot.
Yeah. So, that was Obviously, it's the Planet House set that they always use when they're in caves or in, rocky planets.
I don't know how the episodes match up, but of course, in the future, there are 4 life episode happens, and I wonder if that fortifies Captain Picard's connection to Ro. I don't know if he's betrayed or anything by then, but can you imagine after actually being handled and tortured by the Cardassians, his connection to Ro Laren and what she went through and why he was so upset, after she makes her decision in another episode, is there. And especially after Guinan goes out on a limb and all this other stuff. I thought that was a really good arc, because you have to remember, this girl tells about her dad. This woman tells about her dad being tortured to death in front of her and all that other stuff. So it's that episode's gonna make it real for Picard.
Yeah. Yep. Answer to question 4: what starship was Ro serving on when the disastrous mission took place? Was it the Iron Duke, Victory, Tripoli, or Wellington?
The Big D.
It's the Big Fat D.
Oh, give me some of that D.
The Duke of Wellington.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, you missed it, Panko. He had a shot of them beaming down on the away team, and you got to see the full length of Data's arms with his long-ass fingers. And Mazza was right. It looks like his hands stop at his knees.
Where was it? There you go. There you go.
Yes, look at that. Look how long his... I used to, when I'm looking at him, because I'm drawing his character sometimes, the anatomy is correct. His elbow stops at his belly button level, and the hands or the wrist or the palm of the hand stops mid-thigh. So that's the general area, in human anatomy, where that's supposed to stop. But his hands are so long and everything, and his torso is so wide that it makes his arms look longer than they actually are. So, that's...
There you go.
Me obsessing about Data.
Okay, Act 4. We're getting there.
You can still see his hands in that shot, I was going to say.
In that one. Yeah, well, they're off the bottom of the screen there somewhere. Yeah. So we are introduced to Orta. He's there. And it turns out he's suffered some trauma at the hands of the Cardassians, and he has a scarred face and electronic vocal box, because they removed his vocal cords. But it turns out this is not as it seems. Ro claims to have beamed down early to convince them to trust Picard to avoid bloodshed, and in turn, Orca claims that the Bajoran are not responsible for the attack on Solaran 4.
Orta. You said orca, the whale.
Oh, gosh. Oh, dear. Orta. Yes. The crew returns to the Enterprise, and Worf's not happy about all the unanswered questions. How can we trust what they say? If they didn't do it, who did? Why did someone blame the Bajoran? Troy senses no deception from the Orta. Not that anybody actually bothered to ask her. Which is, I find, quite funny. They've gone through all this, and not once does anybody go, Deanna,
what do you think?
What are you sensing? Yeah, no. She just chips in the middle of the conversation. Oh, by the way, didn't sense any deception. Nobody cares.
Gonna be you're useless now. Thank you.
Shocking. It's shocking.
I'm just going to say in that shot, nice little bit of Ro attitude, and Riker appears to be staring at her arse.
That's so Riker.
That's the beginning of that other episode when they get turned into children. And no, when they lose memories.
No, when they lose their memories. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Picard takes her to his ready room and gives her a spanking. Yep. Over leaving the ship without permission, and restricts her to her quarters for the rest of the mission. But question number 5. How many pips does Ro Laren have in this episode? Is it A, 1 black, B, 1 gold, C, 1 black, 1 gold, or D, 2 gold? You notice I quickly changed the picture there. Yes.
Guinan's trying to figure it out for herself there, but
How
looks
many
of it.
pips has she got? Yeah. So Guinan visits a grounded Ro and offers her assistance. Guinan sees her as a kind of kindred spirit as they both lost their homeworlds. And Ro admits she is indeed lost. Guinan admits to being in trouble herself in the past, but a bold man trusted and helped her out. And she should do the same. So Guinan takes Ro to Picard in his ready room and tells him to hear her out. Picard tries to object, but Guinan tells him that she's her friend, which gives Picard pause and decides he's got no choice but to hear her out. Because if Guinan's vouching for her...
in his tracks.
Yeah, it does. He's like, oh, God, all right. Spit it out then. Ro tells him about Admiral Kennelly's mission to make a secret deal with Orta, so long as they stop attacking the Federation in exchange for weapons and ships. Picard can't believe it. She admitted receiving orders from him last night to go ahead and make the deal, and the transmission logs will at least confirm that. Oh, crap. Do that. Ro tells him that at the age of 8, the Cardassians made her watch them torture her father to death. And at the time, she felt ashamed that he was weak and begged for his life. It made her ashamed to be Bajoran. But later in life, she realized how foolish those thoughts were. The Admiral gave her the opportunity to help her people, and she took it. But after Orta admitted not committing the attack, she realized that nothing actually makes sense. Picard asked her if she'd briefed the Admiral since their return, and she had not. Picard proposes working with Orta to uncover the truth. So as Tavi mentioned earlier... Oh, Tavi's gone. There you go. As Tavi mentioned earlier, it's a really... I thought it was quite a strong scene, and yeah, quite harrowing.
It reminded me a bit of Sela, actually. Similar kind of backstory.
She's got some serious eyebrows there.
Yeah.
Those are like pterodactyl, bird of prey, or warbird looking eyebrows there.
Warbird looking eyebrows.
Yeah.
That'd be my goal in life, to have warbird looking eyebrows.
Well, they're great. Yeah.
Look, always surprised.
Panko says they're on fleek.
You might have noticed that I've on purpose chose pictures that don't show her pips. I've been careful and sneaky.
Good call, although I think everybody's answered already.
Oh.
I'm
Anyway.
saying that. Panko has not answered.
That was she says B. Stu
Oh,
Plum
Panko
says
say B. We are
Covered in
covered in
bees.
bees.
Covered in bees. Yep. And the answer to question 5 is how many pips does Ro have? And she does indeed have 1 gold. So well done, everybody. You've done. You're getting them all this evening. I obviously, because I'm not feeling very well, I haven't pitched the questions quite tough enough for you. You guys know it all, apart from Sean.
Evidently.
Oh,
I'm slightly confused though. Does that mean she's not an ensign, but more like a Lieutenant JG?
Yeah, I guess.
Or
Well, she could have been promoted and demoted. They never stated, but it's very possible if she was above the ensign that they put her back down again.
Yeah.
okay, all right.
I mean, you're going to be stripped in rank if you're jailed. They'd hardly leave you out unless
what's the
obviously you're an
confusion?
ensign.
Sorry.
It's a 1 gold pip, and it's not like a black one, so it's more like a junior grade lieutenant rather than ensign.
Oh, you never know. Depending on her court martial,
I
she
thought
might
one
not have
pip
been
was an
demoted.
ensign.
Because if there are like different ways. Like last time I remember, you can be sent to military jail, and you can either be demoted or you can be temporarily demoted, where basically you receive the pay and acknowledgement of a lower rank, but you still have to do your job at the same rank or whatever. You're just on paper, I guess, on your paycheck you're demoted and whatnot. So
I mean, it was my mistake, but I always thought I thought 1 gold was an ensign. That's why in the first sort of series or two of our TNG review show, I had 1 gold pip and I was calling myself an ensign. But I don't know. I'm not very good at these.
You are
So,
right.
were you court-martialed?
You are right.
I
Just
am right.
yeah.
Really?
Ensign is 1 gold.
Ah.
Junior grade lieutenant is black and gold.
Is the black one like cadet or something?
Black one is
Single-
chief or petty officer. Yeah, chief petty officer. I imagine cadet maybe, or yeah.
Well, the cadets just have the kind of strips, and you get 1 per year.
Oh yeah.
So you're year 1 cadet, year 2 cadet, etc.
Okay.
So yeah, that's the.
At least I didn't get it wrong in series 1 then.
No, you were right. We were all wrong. Yeah, so,
I skipped junior grade lieutenant though. I went straight from ensign to lieutenant.
it's because you didn't have a black pip.
Do you think I'll shall I be promoted to commander like around season 6 or something?
Yeah, it's about time I got my captaincy, isn't it? Really? Or where is it?
Are you a commander?
Yeah, I'm still a commander because I don't.
Oh yeah,
I don't,
you definitely need.
I
your
don't have the
captaincy.
4th pip.
Ah,
I lost it.
I got pip. I can give you a pip.
Yeah. Yeah. What am I doing?
Oh, there's lots of flashing lights outside.
Oh
my
yes,
house.
we're on Act 5 now. We just
Oh,
had
you
the
can see
answer.
them in the background.
Oh yeah,
How
yeah,
did
yeah,
you?
yeah. Is that outside your house?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Some big recovery vehicle or something.
Oh.
I'm not sure what it is.
As long as it's not taking your car away, that's the main thing.
Let's hope not.
Okay, Act 5. We're into the final act. On the bridge, Picard contact the Admiral and tells him Orta is cooperating with them and they will escort the Bajorans to Valor 3. The Admiral is pleased. Picard inquires over his Cardassian flu, but the Admiral admits he's feeling much better now. There's a...
Sorry, just in
Hip
that
hip
shot.
hooray, Steve Plum says.
Just in the last shot, if you just go back, you can see on the left there, Tavi, the ready room, and the right, you can just kind of see it through Picard is the turbo
Yeah,
lift.
that's the terrible lift.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see it. I see it. So that is on the bridge. Okay.
Yeah.
'Cause I was thrown. I'm like, where the hell is she going? So
Yeah, that's the ready room there, and there's a turbo lift there. This is, I'm not talking about this, it's just a shot of the D break in orbit, which I love.
Nice
so
D pick.
I had to put my, I had to get my D pick in there.
He's pretty, and it's a nice double planet shot and all.
Yeah,
They trimmed the hull to make it
Some
look
good
bigger.
contrast of colours.
yeah. Yeah. So, after the call, Picard orders Data to monitor the Cardassian border. It turns out the Bajoran vessel can only manage half impulse, so the Enterprise matches their speed. Data picks up Gala-class warships, shadowing their movements, and they're about to pass the nearest point to Cardassian's border and surmise that this is when they'll pounce. And indeed, they do. They get hailed by a derpy-looking Cardassian named Goldanak.
is that derpy?
It's like, as far as Cardassians go, he's a pretty derpy-looking Cardassian.
Yeah, that's pretty awful makeup on him. Like it didn't come out of the mold right. It's all
He didn't. It's all kind of like,
Lopsided head.
maybe he's been in an accident in the war. I don't know. You know, it's-
Sorry, May Colonel.
yeah. I see him
They're
as,
still-
I see this actor in a Western or something.
Do you know what you know him from? I know
No.
what you know him from.
I see him as like a simpleton in a Western. Or like,
He was in 118 or 113 episodes of Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman that we used to watch a lot when we were kids.
oh, that was it. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was like a
He was
really...
called Horace somebody or another. He was like one of the
He was like a
locals from the town
simpleton
or something.
farmhand or something from the town. Yeah.
Again,
Yeah.
I was listening to a podcast with Michael Westmore recently, and he was talking about the Cardassian makeup, and apparently there was only 5 or 6 pieces, and he used the natural shape of the skull of the actor to make them look different. But I think at this stage he mustn't have been doing that, because it looks like there's a full face mold, because the way the eyes are sunken in is
Yeah.
very, it's not good makeup.
He looks a bit odd.
This was the last appearance of that original uniform
Yeah.
thing, like from the Wounded.
The sort of like spongy looking plastic thing.
I just just have to get it out of my head when you guys started talking about Dr. Quinn and he was just looking like in a Western simpleton. Immediately the song Irving, the 120 something like fastest gun in the West came into my head. I don't know if anybody knows that time.
It's what's Benny Hill? Is it that guy?
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta listen to that song if you haven't heard it, people in the audience.
All right. After the call, Picard order. Oh no, I've read that. Derpy looking Cardassian.
Hanko's saying he's asymmetrical, like his face.
Yeah.
I guess, is asymmetrical.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Question 6 then. We got Gold Dulac here, but what militia was Gold Dulac from? Was he from A, Militia 37, B, Militia 41, C, Militia 42, or D, Militia 47? Yeah. I actually didn't write the answer on that one. I don't know if I can remember what it was.
This guy, Frank Collinson, and also the guy who plays Orta, they are both in 2 other episodes of Deep Space Nine season 1.
Yeah.
Like the same 2 episodes. I don't really remember them being in Deep Space Nine, so yeah. If and when we get onto DS9, it'll be good to go, oh, there they are.
I got a feeling that he was only in Deep Space Nine as a picture in Odo's.
You got a feeling.
Odo's security thing as a wanted poster in Odo's.
Maybe they were in episodes Vortex and If Wishes Were Horses. I mean, if it was If Wishes Were Horses, they could have been like a illusion or hallucination or something.
Maybe.
But I don't know. Okay, interesting.
Anyway, yeah.
We'll see. We'll see when we get there.
We'll get there one day. Okay. People are sure it's B, so that's good. I was just going to go with the majority.
I don't have it in my notes either, so I'm just going to follow the bear.
I do have it in mine. So.
Picard opens with pleasantries, but Gull informs Picard that he's escorting terrorists. Picard assures him they are colonists, and he's just transporting them home. Nothing more, nothing to see here. But Dulac isn't interested. He's intent on blowing the Bajoran ship to Kingdom Come. Dulac gives Picard 1 hour to withdraw. The old 1 hour.
One of your standard Earth hours.
Hours, I guess, is not a Bajoran hour. Picard contacts the Admiral in his ready room and questions how the Cardassians knew when and where they were transporting the Bajorans. But cannily brushes it off and just says, well, they, monitor the border. He advises Picard to see the big picture and protect the Cardassian treaty. Picard tips his hand and informs the Admiral that the big picture he sees is a Federation Cardassian envoy working with the Cardassians to secretly uncover a common enemy and use Federation resources to root him out. The Admiral gives Picard a direct order to leave the Bajorans to the Cardassians. Nasty Admiral. Picard goes to the bridge and orders Ro to move the Enterprise away. And in turn, the Cardassians move towards the Bajoran ship and destroy it. Pew, pew, pew. And kablooey, it blows up. I've just put here just a random pic of data on the bridge.
Oh my God, that's delicious. Thank you. I feel I'm healed. Hallelujah.
Yeah, that one was for no purpose, but just to cheer Tavikins up because she's not feeling very well.
Thank you so much.
Where's the picture gone? Come on. There you go. The Admiral hails on a secure channel, and instead of taking it in his ready room, Picard takes it on the bridge for all to see. He informs the Admiral that no lives were lost because all the comms were handled through a subspace relay hidden on the ship. The Admiral's furious, as they are all terrorists. But Picard sets them straight that Ortus people do not even have warp-capable vessels. They could not have conducted the attacks as accused. The most likely explanation is that the Cardis committed this act themselves and then went looking for a dumb as shit admiral who would fall for their story hook, line, sinker, and copy of Angular Times.
Yeah. They haven't heard of false flags in the 24th century, apparently.
No.
Love it.
Back to the Bajoran colony, Picard tells Ro that the Admiral will probably face his own court-martial, and she was only recruited for one task, but thinks she should remain in Starfleet. He sees potential in her, and thinks she will become a top officer if she works at it. She agrees, eventually, with one exception, and puts the Bajoran earring back in her ear. They beam up.
Okay, first.
Yep, and head off to their next adventure. The end.
First of all, if you go to the last picture and then back and forth to this one, okay, unless she knew what was happening, where the hell was she keeping that earring?
Yeah.
Okay.
Same place she kept her other comm badge, or how she unzipped her top, I would imagine.
Jesus, I'm like, she's got all these hidden spots for stuff because there's
Look at
no
that.
way she would have known that conversation was going to happen. So where's she
Hidden
been
nooks
jamming
and
that?
crannies.
How did she turn that one piece into a two piece and just take the top off? Who knows?
Ooh, Ro Laren.
I think
She got some skills definitely needed in Starfleet.
I think if she served for me, I'd definitely search her.
You'd want to get all up inside her crannies, wouldn't you?
Once or twice.
You're like, just gotta make sure. I gotta make sure there's no more earrings.
It's gotta be careful, you know. You can do weird things with your uniform, hon. Where did you keep that extra comm badge? I need to find it.
Are you a
Strategic, like-
shapeshifter?
Yeah, magic. Panko thinks magic. So back to the final question then. What militia was Gul Dulac from? Was it 37, 41, 42, or the 47? It was...
Covered in bees.
41. Yeah, covered in bees. I think that was the right answer. I hope that's right.
It is right. I wrote it down specifically.
You knew I was going to ask that question. So well then, everybody. I think I am covered in bees. So yeah, there we go. That's the end of that episode. To start thinking about what you give this episode out of 10, from 0 to 10, put it in chat. What do you rate the episode of Ensign Ro? And what do you guys think about it?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I mean, I already said I quite like her character. I think the interplay between her and Guinan was pretty much genius, and I think like Pillar sort of says that he thinks the whole success of the episode was because of Guinan, because it was the way in which Guinan embraces Ro and then kind of makes Picard more endeared towards her, also does the same effect on the audience, and that it wasn't until they hatched that the whole episode sort of seemed to come together and be more complete. So yeah, I think that was good.
I think it's nice because, Guinan does have that sort of similar backstory of having her homeworld taken away from her by the Borg. And so she can really relate to, the anger that Ro's feeling and, feels that she, deserves a chance.
I do like it because first time that the implications of possible El-Orien's empathic abilities are there, because and it's implied memory alpha that El-Oriens do have some sort of minor empathic abilities, kind of like the Betazoid. So this is the first time where it's like, why would she be drawn to the table? Because
well, they
just
have
because you feel sorry for someone.
It's not quite empathic in that they read emotions. It's more that they have an understanding of the space-time continuum and understand when things aren't quite right, and I try and influence. They have almost an understanding of time, that they understand that something isn't right and that it needs to be put back on its path almost.
But they point that out separately, though. They point out their temporal and their different, like, awareness is different from the empathic. So that's why, or at least it came to my attention.
All right.
And also, she's a bartender. That's what they do, right?
Well, she's super observant, isn't she? She looks at everybody that passes her bar and
She's like mega wise.
and listens to what everybody knows. She's a listener and she's observant and she listens to what people have to say. And, you know, she's good at coming to conclusions, isn't she? She's perceptive.
I think it was weird, though, when she says nobody wants to be alone comes to the bar to drink. And I'm like, no. There are a lot of people that go to the bar to have a drink alone because, you know, you get served stuff and you don't have to think too far. You don't have to make up drinks. But I remember, like, if sometimes where I just want to chill and just be me, I will go to a bar, but I don't want to talk to anybody. So don't talk to me. Don't hit on me. I don't want to join your table. I don't want to have conversations on girl night. I just want to sit here and look into my glass that someone made for me and that I don't have to clean up. So I was like, I thought that was a strange statement. And, like, even though it's a room full of people, you can still be alone in a room full of people.
Yeah, I do like taking a book to a bar and just sitting in a corner with a beer and reading a book. Yeah. Okay, so Mazmat Bob, the competition, who did what?
So we have 4 people who won. And dividing points between them, that gives them 8.5 points each. So I guess that's 9 points, right?
9, okay.
And that's 9 points for Tavona, Stuplum.
Okay,
Ruth, and
hold on.
Mazza.
Tavona, Stuplum, Ruth, and who else?
Me.
And you.
And then we've got 6 points for Sean and 5 points for Panko.
6 points for Sean and 5 points for Panko. Very good. And the only difference there is, I think, Maz, you've overtaken Sean.
Oh, have I?
Yeah. Let me just. How did I've forgotten.
Yeah.
Range.
Shares you wears.
Yeah. I will share it and just.
Oh yeah, Gold Delac. When he first said Cardassian, he says Cardassian.
Oh, that's upside
But then he
down.
doesn't then say that multiple times. He then corrects himself later. He just says it the way it's supposed to be.
Does he?
Well, that was a bit of a weird one. Cardassian.
Cardassian.
What is that all about?
All right. There we go.
That's all I had.
So we've got a joint top, Tavikin, Stu, Plum and Ruth, and then Mazam Bob in 3rd place and Sean in 2nd place and Sean in 3rd place. So, yes.
What?
And we're going to take, at the request of Wookiee, we're going to take them off the scoreboard. Like, they don't answer questions for a reason. I don't like the pressure of having 4 points.
Oh, I can take him off. There you go.
Yeah, take them off.
Oh,
That's all right.
I'll take him off. Hang on. Delete row.
I also think, like,
bye, Wookiee.
oh, yeah. So Smiler puts the questions and the answers, or like the option of answers, into chat. But Smiler doesn't actually know the answers, right? So
No.
Smiler can play too if she wants.
Yeah. Yeah, there we go. That's correct. There we go. So, yeah, what was people score in this episode then? I'll get my paddle. Has everybody got their paddle?
I'm looking at my paddle from across the room.
Yeah, well, since you're off cam, it's pointless anyway. So
That's a good point. You can just tell us in chat what your score is.
I know what Maz is giving.
How?
Hey, because you just held it up to the camera.
I'm still deciding though.
So don't change it.
I don't know. I'm sort of between a couple.
Right, you ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Boing. Yes. 8.
I was between 7 and 8. I mean, I just feel like I'm being a bit too generous so far this season.
But it's
Like
great.
9, 8, 8. but I did enjoy it. I did enjoy it quite a lot.
What did Tavikins go with?
Mine was 7. I
7.
put 7.
7. And Sean was a 6.
Tavikins went for 7.
And what did the audience say then? We've got 6 from Wookie. And we've got Stu Plum. He liked it. It was an 8. And Ruth
and we've
was
got
an
8
8.
from Ruth.
Yeah.
So that works out to be 7.33, so a 7. So pretty consistent
7.
scores across the piece, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
All sort of 8s and 7s and 6s.
Yeah, I might be being slightly harsh. I don't know. Just the episode didn't speak to me. Maybe I'm just tired today. I'm not in the humor. But the what I will say, it is an important episode canonically. Obviously, yeah, we get the the Cardassians,
Massively.
the Bajorans, the whole of Deep Space Nine, and everything that comes after it. You know, it could have been so different had they put the Romulans in. Deep Space Nine wouldn't have happened the way it happened, most likely. And obviously, the one fact we didn't mention, and I'm sure it'll be mentioned multiple times, Michelle Forbes was offered the lead role in Deep Space Nine and probably could have made a hell of a lot of money, but she decided she was going off to Hollywood and make a lot of films, and it worked out for her just as well as it worked out for Denise Crosby, and that it didn't really. She had a couple of bit parts and sort of faded away. So yeah, she could have had a much better career for herself had she stayed in Deep Space Nine, but she gave up and we got Kieran Reese instead. But nonetheless,
It was also awesome.
Without the character of Ensign Ro, we wouldn't have Kieran Reese, we wouldn't have Deep Space Nine. So we owe her a debt of gratitude in that respect. A lot of the Maquis stuff that bled into Voyager as well, also based on her.
Yeah. Again, I like Ensign Ro as a character, and I think she works well as a sort of antagonist in the Happy Crew. As a bit more spunk to her.
When we come to that episode, Disaster, perfect fly in the ointment. I think it's just called Disaster, is it?
Yeah.
And then Deanna's in charge. That's a good one. But when we get to that one, or similarly when they all lose their memories, whatever the name of that episode is, and similarly she's fairly contrary to everyone else. But it was all right. But yeah, they use her much better in later episodes.
Yep. You will be pleased to know that next week. We're not going to be around next week. Well, I don't think we are. I don't know. Because it's Christmas week, we could do it because we're off. But I know everybody's going to be busy with Christmas and all the activities between Christmas and New Year. So I think we'll take the week. We'll take the week off. So we'll be back in a couple of weeks' time with the Silicon, whatever it's called.
Silicon Avatar.
Yeah, I think that's the next episode.
Is that the one with Data's mother? God, I'm not up to date at all. Okay.
No, I think that's the one where the crystalline entity is seen for the attacks.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is it not?
Yeah, it's about crystalline entity. So that's the one. That's the thing we'll be reviewing in a couple of weeks' time. Thank you to. I didn't find a character for this week. Sorry, guys. I didn't have
Oh, never mind.
Never mind. We'll have one next time. Thank you to Mazbet Bob, Sean, and Tariq Turner for coming along with me tonight. And thank you to Live Chat Supreme Panko. Thank you, Wookie. Wookie, you're out. You're off the leaderboard, so you're safe. You're safe now. Thank you, Stu Plum and Ruth, and anybody else? Smiler Rainbow.
And Mickey joined us just at the beginning.
Mickey, thanks for coming along. We'll be over on my personal channel tomorrow, playing Star Citizen with Mickey. So if you want to see some people flying around the galaxy, we'll be doing that tomorrow.
Wookie says, "How about you all play Star Trek Bridge Crew together sometime?"
Yeah, I do have that actually. In VR.
I do not.
I need to get a VR headset.
Yeah, I think you can play it without. You can play it manually. I think without VR.
Can you?
I think so. Yeah.
I have no idea what is.
Yeah.
Well, it's a game, and everyone takes a station. So you have a captain, engineering, tactical, helm. And people, you have to talk over video chat and coordinate each other in order to do the missions.
Yeah,
Oh, that is pretty awesome.
it was quite good fun.
What?
Yeah,
And it functions in VR, so you can sit in your captain's chair, and you look right and look left, you can see the various stations and what your crew are doing and such.
yeah, it's pretty good fun. You can even change the bridge. So like the main bridge is like a Calvin timeline, like movie Enterprise bridge, but you can also have like you can have the Enterprise D or the original TOS bridge. You know,
Very cool.
it's pretty cool.
I want the bridge with seatbelts because they should learn some things.
Yeah,
There's a deleted scene in Nemesis, I think it is. I might have mentioned this before, and they do have seatbelts, and then Picard goes, "Well, it's about damn time," or something to that effect. But
that's right. Yeah, he does. Yeah.
it's a CGI thing of just it goes over his body, but they obviously they never made it canon, so it still don't exist officially.
No.
And the chair they use for that, they later just reuse for Enterprise since they didn't use it for anything else.
So yes, thank you everyone. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time. I'm going to go lie down in a dark room now with some cocoa or something. I hope you all have a fantastic Christmas and a happy New Year. Good night, everyone.
Indeed.
Happy holidays.
Merry Christmas.
How do I end this again? I can't remember. Oh,
I like the way you asked that before you ended it.
That sounds
I found the button. It's all right. I'm going now. Bye.